Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is Matt with RARTCG. Today, I'm really excited. We're gonna be talking about your pricing strategy for your business. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is a pricing strategy? Well, don't worry, we're gonna talk about it in this video. And I've actually got a really exciting story that just happened for me in the last 24 hours for my business. Now, if you're watching this in the future, I'm just gonna timestamp this right here. It is August 5th of 2025. Now, what's really important about this time right now, let's hit the pause, let's hit the brakes for a second. I said my name is Matt, it's nice to meet you, and thanks for tuning into my video. If you don't mind, hit that like button and subscribe. We are on the journey to 1,000 subs, and any like and subscription really helps with that. And if you're feeling really crazy, if you really like the content, share it with somebody. Anyways, let's get back into it. So what's really important about this time frame in history of 2025, again, we're in August going into the fall. It is, we're finally getting closer to summer being over. I live in Texas. It's hot, y'all. It's hot every day. I'm not a big fan of being hot and sweating, okay? That's besides the point. So we got a lot of things to look forward to in the next coming months when it comes to the card world. We've got some really, really big sets on the way. We've got the mega sets for Pokemon. We've got Spider-Man Universes Beyond for Magic the Gathering. And right after that, we've also got Avatar The Last Airbender for Magic. I love Avatar. I'm really excited to see what's in the set. Spider-Man, it just looks like it's going to be crazy awesome. One of the Infinity Stones being in the collector's box is crazy. Anyways, I don't really want it. This is not a Spider-Man video, okay? What I'm trying to explain to you is that right now, if you're running a business online, you are right here. And then like 2 steps over are the mega sets, Spider-Man and Avatar The Last Airbender. So how are you doing on your free capital, your liquid cash, so that you can take advantage of opportunities coming up in the near future? Those are the kind of conversations, that's the kind of like the give and take, the pull, you know, the tug of war that you have with your business of the inventory you currently have, the cash you have on hand, and then what you need to be part of what's on the way for your business. So that is kind of the whole big picture. So we've zoomed up way, way high, like the 50,000, 100,000 foot look at it. So I'm in this position where I want to free up as much capital as possible because I want to take advantage of what's on the way. So how am I doing that? Well, this story that I'm going to talk about has to do with these concepts of your pricing strategy. I'm going to share the story and then we're going to break down 3 of the core pricing strategy pieces of the puzzle that we're going to talk about. And that's going to be the video. So here's my story. So over the weekend, just recently this last week, I got in a shipment of Final Fantasy Commander decks. I was really excited to get this product on hand. I love the Final Fantasy set. It's probably my favorite. I don't think Spider-Man's gonna be, it's not gonna be that for me. I love Spider-Man, but Final Fantasy, I grew up with it. I really connected with it as a kid. And then Avatar The Last Airbender, I have a soft spot for Avatar, but ultimately at the end of the day, I've played so many Final Fantasy games. I'm so in deep into that, like, that hobby and that just whole realm of things. Like the Final Fantasy Tactics remake that's coming out in September, you already know I'm going to be on that. Anyway, so Final Fantasy has my heart. And I was really excited to get these Commander decks in for a really, really solid price. So knowing what's on the way, what we just talked about, I was like, man, I have to get the Commander decks listed as fast and efficiently as possible to start making money. And so how was I going to do that? Well, my current pricing strategy was to have a floor price of 18 cents and listing everything at least 105% above market. So that's 5%, not 105%, 5% above market. So everything was listed at 105% or higher for certain things. That was really beneficial for me, especially over the last couple of weeks, because I needed to slow things down. I've had a lot going on in life, a lot going on with my full-time job, and so I really needed to kind of slow down, throw some water on what was happening with the card business as I focused in other areas. Now, with these other things on the horizon, I was like, okay, it's time to start pressing the gas a little bit. So what did I do? I lowered my floor price by 2 pennies, so from 18 cents to 16 cents. And I adjusted my overall pricing by about 6% for Final Fantasy Commander specifically. I didn't change the pricing on any of my other sets or cards that I have on my inventory. All I adjusted was a 6% decrease for Final Fantasy Commanders, bringing it right in line with the actual market price. Sorry, I couldn't think for a second. So what did that do? What did that result in? Well, typically any day of the week, I get between 10 to 20 orders. And then on the weekends, you'll see a surge as people have more time. They're browsing, they're trying to buy cards for their decks, for their collections and things like that. Well, in the last 24 hours, I got 81 orders. And I've seen orders come in as I've recorded my videos tonight as well. That's crazy, okay? I've had very few days outside of today where that's happened, okay? In fact, in the first 2.5 hours, I had over 30 orders come in that amount of time. Now, this is super exciting. Well, number one, it's a lot of work, right? So I've got to pack and fulfill all those orders, get those shipped in time to make sure they're on their way to their final destinations. But it's also extremely exciting. Like, I actively made a strategic decision for my business, what I think is best. Would you have made the same decision? Maybe not, and that's totally fine. But I did for me what was best, to start churning through some more product, to start really actualizing some gains, not gains, but profit. Gains is like an investing term, sorry. To start actualizing some profit from the inventory that I invested money into, right? And that's all happening right now. And on top of that, as you'll see, as you list more sets, as you get a deeper inventory, you know, you can change the price on one set like Final Fantasy Commanders, and it has a ripple effect through your entire inventory. So yes, I'm selling Final Fantasy Commanders at market, still gonna make profit there. But what that's done is it's allowed other cards to sell that are listed above market, like the 5% above, 6%, 10%, depending on what they are. Oh, that voice crack, whoa. If you made it this point in the video, comment voice crack down below, y'all. Let's go. But yeah, that's what I did. So let's go ahead and fast forward. So that's the story, right? So 81 sales in less than 24 hours. That is crazy. That is awesome. I'm super excited. I'm super blessed and thankful as well that people would see my listings and trust my shop and my feedback and the sales that I have, and give me a chance to fulfill their orders and get those shipped on time. That's really, really exciting. And I cannot say thank you enough for that. So let's talk about pricing strategy. There's 3 pieces to this puzzle that I think will really add a lot of value to your life. I'm gonna go through them semi-quickly, keep this video short-ish. Let me know your thoughts down below too as I walk through these. Let me know your thought on the story I just shared. Would you have made a similar decision? Would you have kept your prices the same? Would you have changed it at all? I'd love to know. So let's talk about 3 pieces of the puzzle. Piece number 1 is to have a floor price. I recommend this 100% of the time. You're gonna hear me say this probably 1 million bajillion times. You should have a floor price. Just because a card says it has a market value of 1 to 3 pennies does not mean that you have to list it at 1 to 3 cents. My floor price, as I said, has been 18 cents. I've changed my floor price hundreds of times in the last 7 months. It feels like hundreds of times. Definitely dozens and dozens of times, getting close to that 100 mark. I think that your floor price can help you increase sales, slow down sales. It can help you be more profitable. That's like the main core thing, is to make sure that you're not selling cards at a loss. Because if you sell that 1 penny card and that's all that sells, I'm sorry to say this, but the odds of you making money from that sell are very, very, very low. So you have to crunch your numbers, know exactly what your floor price needs to be. For me, my sweet spot had been about 15 cents. 18 cents is doing extremely well. And then as I reduced it to 16, I may also kind of experiment with 20, 25 cents as well. I think 25 cents is pretty much the gold standard for a lot of large sellers on TCG Player. You ask them, that's typically the floor price that they have. Some sellers say that they don't list any cards that have a market price lower than 25 cents. Some people use a floor price just like I do, which means that that's just what they bump up all cards to as well. So have a floor price. It can be anything you want it to be. Just try to make sure that you're remaining profitable. That's my 5 cents right there. So that's the first piece of the puzzle is your floor price. The second piece of the puzzle is going to be your listing price. Now, a lot of times when you're first getting started, you're just trying to make sales, you're trying to level up in TCG Player, you're just trying to get some feedback and sales data so that you're more reputable on the site. And I totally understand that. The temptation there is to list below market price. Maybe you're gonna match lowest listing, maybe you're even gonna go lower than lowest listing to really try to get your listing seen first, make it more likely that people are gonna buy from you. I understand all of that, but I don't think you have to do that. I think that you as a brand new seller, level 1, 2, and 3, you can list at market price. Things will sell. You just got to be strategic about what cards you're actually listing. If you're going to list bulk, you need to do some research and find the playable bulk cards. Like if it's Pokemon, look for trainers. Do you have any Night Stretchers, Earthen Vessels? Do you have any, oh my gosh, all the cards are gone. Used to be Pokegear 3.0, that used to be huge. Some of those cards that are really, really popular, really playable. Monkey Dory was one of those for a long time too. Badoo, also saw some Starlight there as well. What's Starlight? What's the Spotlight is the word I'm looking for. So be strategic with the cards you're selling. You don't have to be lowest listing. You can list at market and go from there. But also like my story that I just shared, is when you have a deep inventory, when you've been in it for a while, you have multiple sets listed, you can be more competitive with your pricing because chances are as people start to build their decks or look for collections or look for cards for their collections, your deeper inventory is going to make it more likely that they're going to purchase from you. And so what that gives you, it gives you a competitive edge. And so you can list your cards a little bit above market price and still find that you're making a lot of sales. I don't even have that deep of an inventory, y'all. My inventory fluctuates between 10 to 14, I would say 12 to 16,000 cards right now, just on the given day and what's going on with my inventory. It's been awesome. Of course, I want to double my inventory and really go even deeper. But for where I am right now, I'm perfectly happy with the type of sales, number of sales I'm getting, and I'm listing competitively. I'm 5 to 10% above market in a lot of cases, and that makes it manageable for me. Honestly, that's something you have to keep in mind. Is you can be lowest listing, you can get 100 orders a day, but number one, are you being profitable? Are you being wise and profitable with your business? And number two, do you have the bandwidth to provide excellent care and service for all of those orders with that much sell-through rate? So that's your pricing strategy right there, your listing price. You don't have to be lowest listing. You can be market price, you can be above it, depending on how strategic and competitive you want to be. And the very last piece of this puzzle, of course, is your shipping price. Now, a lot of people are successful having the free above $5 shipping. That's typically what I use on TCG Player. However, I will say that I have changed that from time to time. Typically, when I am trying to throw some water on like what's happening, if I need to slow things down, I'll have a more like strict, a more strict shipping price. I will say that if you can get a deep inventory, get really used to using like a $1.99 shipping or $2 shipping, $2.50 shipping, that's going to help keep you super profitable. It's going to help insulate you from kind of weird orders that are like 50 cards, but it's $5 and you got to figure out how to ship it effectively. You can avoid that by having a really strict shipping costs, and I totally recommend. I totally recommend and respect people that do that. But for me, I've been keeping it right around that free above $5 kind of setup, and it's been working well for me. So how do all these pieces of the puzzle fit together? And this is where I'm going to close. In my story that I just shared, you can kind of see what I did. I tweaked a couple of those pieces, right? I tweaked my listing price. So instead of being 6 to 10% above market, I reduced it by 6% to be more in line with the market price. On top of that, I reduced my floor price by 2 pennies. And remember, I only adjusted these 2 pieces of the puzzle just for Final Fantasy Commander cards. I didn't do it across the board. I didn't impact my whole inventory here. I made a very strategic play to adjust one set in my whole inventory, and it exploded in sales and that's stinking awesome and exciting. I can't wait to continue to kind of be strategic in my outlook and approach to my pricing and my business. And I hope that this encourages you to kind of play around, especially if you're new, if you're just getting started, you just got like your first 1,000, 2,000 cards listed. Right now is the time for you to learn these things, to experiment, and see what works for you. And as you grow and expand and scale your business, don't be afraid to adjust things. Just because you did things one way one time doesn't mean you have to do that forever and ever and ever. Thank you so much for watching again. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me out. And always comment, y'all. I can't wait to see all the people commenting voice crack down below because that happened at 7 minutes into the video. And I'll see you for the next one soon. Peace.